do not smoke on the show floor.
That's a serious announcement.
Yeah, serious.
No,
yeah.
smoking.
No smoking.
Not even a little. They just made an announcement.
Stop it.
Welcome back, you guys. If you're new to the channel, thank you so much. I'm Dustin. This is Revere Glass. If you've been a long-time subscriber, I really appreciate your continued support. And today, we're going to be talking about Glass Vegas. I had such a fun time at Glass Vegas, and to be honest, I was a little bit nervous about going, you know, like with so many people, such a big crowd. And so I was kind of apprehensive, and I was thinking I should probably just go for one day. But I went there and it was just like a big welcome home, and everyone was super kind and beautiful to be around. It was so cool to see all the artists making their new stuff and hearing how the YouTube videos had influence over them and maybe helped them at the beginning with their work, which was so cool to hear and see. I also got to see a lot of people who were old students of mine and business partners and all kinds of stuff. So it was so cool. If you guys are interested in the top of the industry in glass pipes and also just like a bunch of wholesale stuff, it's definitely worth going to and checking out. There's also a lot of fun interactive things that they do, like a Boro Derby, like the old Pinewood Derby from Cub Scouts. They do a marble exchange and also a Millie meetup, and they even have a fund to support artists who are having a difficult times, which is so important because it's really important that we as artists keep glass in our lives. And I was so happy to see all the stuff that Glass Vegas was doing. I decided to ask people more about their inspiration and finding their own voice than like their name and how long they've been blowing glass and what their favorite color is. So I really wanted to show you guys the artist with their work so that you could see what has been inspirational for them and how they found their own voice in the medium. I really hope you guys enjoy it. It certainly for me was a total blast, and I can't wait to go next year. I want to thank Mountain Glass for their continued support of videos and education in glass. To have a company like Mountain Glass in our industry is such a blessing because they really care about the artists and the growth of the industry in a way that I haven't seen through other distributors in my almost 30 years of blowing glass. Mountain Glass treats its employees good, always comes with good shipping and good customer service for their customers. So thanks again, Mountain Glass Arts. We appreciate you so much in the industry. If you guys are interested in starting glass blowing, make sure you call up Mountain Glass Arts, ask for Joe, and I think he'll give you a little discount if you tell him that you saw it in a video. I've been having a lot of fun teaching here with the online workshops and also the in-person workshop, Mastering Line Work. Super amazing and really fun to have people back in the studio. So I want to let you know about both an online workshop and an in-person workshop that's going to be going on. The online workshop will be with Firefox Glass on March 18th. That's going to be an amazing class if you're interested in learning how to make Murrini with the stacking method. It's going to be available anywhere in the world, and you can check that out on our website, revereglass.com. A lot of times you guys ask me about my shirts in the comments and where I get them. I've said before that I design them and I have them made because it was been really hard for me to find cool shirts in my size. So I actually ended up making 4 designs for you guys. So those are available on my website, dustinrevere.com. And there's 4 designs of nice shirts that I made and limited amount for each size, but feel free to check those out. I'm really happy with how they turned out. All right, you guys, it's really great to see you, and we'll be back really soon with another video. But until then, check out part 1 of the Glass Vegas video. Thank you guys so much for watching.
Really what I want to get at is like the inspiration, right? Like what was that feeling that you're like, I'm gonna do the Wizards, and that resonates with me, you know?
So when I first started out, I was really focused on, as you know, because we go way back.
Long time.
I was really inspired by Eugene and his line work and horns and stuff, and I really wanted to get disciplined hands. So I started doing that stuff. And it got to a point where I kind of got bored with that. I told my wife, and she said, well, why don't you just make something, like make yourself a pipe. Like, don't worry about what you would make for other people. Make something that you're not going to sell that you think would be cool. I didn't know what the hell that would be. And then I was like, I'm going to make a little wizard dude. And I made it and put it on Instagram and got a way bigger response than I thought I would. And so I made a couple more of them. And then once I had started making them, and I remembered connecting back to my childhood, there was Ralph Bakshi, a graphic artist and an animator, made a movie called Wizards. And then he also made the Hobbit movies and a bunch of other iconic movies back in the 70s and early 80s. And I started looking back and discovered that my inspiration for these came from my childhood and these movies, and I didn't even know it.
Of course.
Until I looked back at the characters and watched the movies, and I went, that's my wizard right there. That's where I got him from. So that's kind of how it evolved.
It's cool to be able to trace it.
And I didn't
so
have
precisely.
a beard. I didn't have a beard back then.
They see this, they're inspired by your work. You know, what steps did you take? What steps would you recommend that they take?
Man, it's so different now than it was when I started. There's like, the amount of available information on YouTube is insane. It wasn't there back when I started. I started at your shop back in Berkeley. You know, I was looking for a hobby to do, and I found online you were teaching classes, and I came down and saw you and paid my money and came down and took the classes and met some of my best friends in the world who are also glass blowers, and you know, we all got our start in your studio, and we shared information with each other. And if it hadn't been for the collective of people learning in real time, not like I've been doing this for 10 years and this is what I've amassed. Like, I did this yesterday. Did you know you could do this?
You know, can I do this better?
And like, oh, I didn't know you could. I'm gonna try that. Yeah, so it was really a special time and place, and we've all gone and done other things from there. But I say, if you can find a class, if you can take a workshop, there's no reason to not know anything now. It's all there to absorb, But back when I started, you know, we were reliant on guys like you who had gone into Italy and done stuff like that to kind of, you know, teach us what we could absorb, because we were limited even what we could absorb. Now you see it seems like everything's been done now. It hasn't, but it seems like
I want to say a couple things about that time too. Phil came to the studio, and immediately I saw his connection with the medium right away, and it was really beautiful. And we eventually worked together on some projects, and I remember working with Phil, and it was like, even though we had been working together a year or something, 6 months, it felt like for me, like somebody had 10 years experience. And I remember that really struck me, that just your inherent connection with the medium was so powerful.
When you gave me the key so that I could close up, so that we could all stay super late, that was what unlocked it, was unlimited hours. And anybody that wants to do this, my number one thing that I could say that would be advice, I guess you could call it, is be relentless. Like, be passionate, follow that, sink yourself into it. There is no other medium, metal, wood. I was a craftsman before I started blowing glass. There's no other medium that can be anything. This can be anything.
Any texture.
Anything.
Any shape.
And once you learn its properties and what it wants to do and how you can get it to do that, you can develop a relationship where you can kind of push it even past that a little bit, you know? But it takes lots and lots of time. If you want to fall in love, it takes commitment and time and energy with anything. Humans, anything.
Super wise and insightful things to say that I think a lot of people will be able to help and maybe add a little piece of inspiration to them. So I appreciate that.
Well, it's the most valuable thing we have is time, and what you put your time into is what you'll get things out of.
Thanks, Phil.
Yeah, my
great
pleasure,
to see
man.
You.
Good to see you as well.
Really good to see the progression. All right, what's up, guys? I'm here, Dustin, with Phil from Prism Glass.
What's going on, guys?
And old friend, and I just wanted to introduce you guys to him and his work.
So I got a new series I've been working on. I call them gnats. They're kind of like a little parasitic fly. Then I got this collaborative series I call it Doubles Right Hand, where I make a hand and then somebody puts an object into it, such as like this one. I just made with some good friends in Murano, Italy.
The Ballerine brothers.
Yeah, man.
So
good guys.
Let me just say a little story about these guys, right? So I think you guys know, if you've been watching my channel for any length of time, you saw I went to Italy and I had some friends there. Well, those guys I invited back to the studio, and I sent Phil a message. I was like, yo, you should come out and hang out with us and blow some glass with these Italian masters.
Yeah, I just happened to be in San Francisco at the time too, conveniently, so it all linked up, and now I go out there quite frequently and blow glass with them. And
they're
Fetty.
amazing.
Yeah, they're great guys.
Fetty so much.
Yeah. I got a collab with Fetty here also. This little guy. I just made it over the summer with him in Modena.
Oh, that's where he lives.
Yeah.
That's where Balsamic's from.
That's right. Yeah. And Ferrari.
Cool. So, tell me, like, what is like the driving inspiration for like this kind of shaping and the sculptor? You know, why is this inspirational for you?
Well, I'm usually a production lathe guy.
Yeah.
So when I get a chance to actually get back on the bench, I want to do something that's a little bit more fun, a little more artistic, you know. And I was making the elephants for a few years, and the hands, and I was playing around with these aquatic creatures, and they kind of looked a little bit like the Gemini Andy critter. And I was like, I just need to do something completely different. So, you know, my head just kind of popped up with these guys, and I'm having fun making them. Yeah.
You're looking for them, their voice. You know, how would you say to find your voice?
You know, it kind of comes naturally through progression. You know, you start off as a proto guy, and then somebody kind of teaches you one trick. You're like, oh, I can add that to my proto, and eventually the inspiration just kind of comes from everywhere, and your peers, and just don't be afraid to do something that somebody's already done, because that's part of the learning process also. Don't say necessarily bite them or knock them off, but definitely maybe try that.
I mean, especially
shape or
for
that
practice,
style.
right?
Yeah, exactly.
For your own learning.
Yeah.
There's no shame in creating something for your own educational process.
Right, exactly.
You know, once it goes to market, that's a different story.
Different story,
obviously, but
for sure.
Yeah. You know, that's classic for the painters. They used to go to the museums and paint Van Goghs and, you know, work from the masters, right?
Yeah.
Same
Exactly.
theory. Where can people find you, your work?
Well, you can find me in multiple head shops across the country in UK and Europe. You can also find me online at pgwgallery.com and Instagram at Prism Glassworks and Phil_PGW.
Cool. Thanks, Phil.
Hey,
appreciate
thank you,
it.
Dustin.
Yeah,
good to see you,
good
man.
to see you, man. Yeah, can you tell me a little bit about your work and what you're up to?
Yeah, definitely. So I'm really into the faceting right now, just trying to get the clean cuts and the clean dot work, really trying to make sure that all the dots are real consistent and none of the dots are touching each other. So you got a real consistent pattern with all the lines very straight, very geometric and symmetrical. Just trying to make really clean work.
How did you find and narrow your technique to this or a couple of things when there's so many choices, you know, and how'd you find your voice?
I mean, I've been blowing glass 5 years, so not very long. It's just started doing implosions, like dot implosions, just real simple ones. My brain works really well in patterns already, so I like to draw different patterns and everything, and so connecting the dots just literally connected the dots for me, you know? It's just super easy for me to translate it to the glass instead of onto the paper. And so if I could tell anybody, just follow what you want to do. Whoever's work you like, if that inspires you, you know, try and make stuff like that. You know, inspiration is key to all art, so we have to have it. And I just get inspiration from all my fellow dot workers and everybody who just hones in on their specific set of crafts. So I think I got an Instagram 5 years ago, and I just saw people were making really dope stuff 2 or 3 years in, and started to really reach out to people, and they just said that they would buy a torch and start, and so that's what I did. I just bought everything and self-taught the whole way. I'm out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. Instagram, Newob Glass, Newob. My last name's Bowen, so it's just Bowen backwards. Yeah, find me on there and let's get you some dot work.
Thanks, man.
Appreciate it. Nice to meet you.
My name's Moose and Fire. I'm out of Michigan. I'm a fume-based glass artist. Out here, it's my first time at Glass Vegas, and I'm having an absolute riot. I definitely enjoy the flame chemistry and the chemistry that's involved with mixing the gold and silver as well to get the other colors and the additional colors that you might not see all. I would say to find what you enjoy to do, delve into it as deeply as you can, spend many hours at it, and then really push the enjoyment that you find in it. Really, that's the best thing I could advise.
That's great advice. So where can people find you?
You could go on Instagram. Moose and Fire is the best way to find me. Most definitely, that'd be it. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely, brother, man. I appreciate you.
I actually have a new Instagram account, Firefox Glass Wears. You can also find me on Facebook under Penelope Palm. And yeah, that's about like where you can find me, or here at the shows. Come out to many like events and stuff too. This guy is a piece that I made about three or 4 years ago. I entered it in Glass Vegas and won second place, but everything in it is a component stringer. So every single stringer that was put into this was a component of a heart or a star in some way, and that's like why it looks like uber pixelated as well. Stringer Stacks actually found me before I even touched a torch. One of my friends was watching me work on what's called a stippling art project, where you actually make like drawing out of dots. And he was like looking at me like, hey, you should try this out. And like put me in front of a table with some stringers, and like we worked together for a while, and then I learned how to use the torch to make my own stringer. So like Millie kind of found me first before I found anything else. And I was just happy to be a part of it in the long run, mostly. I'm always just like, how can I make it more complex and look cooler? Like, I just want to make things that like make other people inspired to do this. Like, and it makes me really happy that a lot of people like to use my work in theirs as well.
Well, thank you so much, and we appreciate you sharing some about your work.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, you guys, welcome back. Thank you so much for checking out that Glass Vegas video. It was super fun to be there, and look at all that work. Like, some of that work is just ridiculous, and you guys can achieve that. That's the cool thing, is that you can build all those pieces. You just need to practice and take those building blocks and build them into steps, and you too can achieve anything that you want. So I was really impressed with the Glass Vegas lineup of the artists and the finished work, and I want to thank all of the artists that wanted to be interviewed and be on the channel. It was so cool to see all of you, and particularly want to give my gratitude for the people that I've worked with or have worked with me or studied with me in the past. Thank you guys so much for letting me know that you learned to spoon or whatever, something from the channel. It means a lot for me. If you've learned something from the channel, please put it in the comments. It's fuel, and we really appreciate it. So you guys, part 2 is coming out really soon, and we can't wait to show you that. Thank you so much for watching part 1. Please subscribe, turn on notifications, give this video the thumbs up. It really helps the channel a lot. I'm not just saying that. It actually helps, and it doesn't take a lot of effort, and it would be amazing if you do that for us. Thanks so much, you guys. I'll see you soon, and it was really great to see you. Bye.